Hello, Warriors. It's Coach at TradeGATEHub, and we are sponsored by TradeView Markets. We have a lot of news this week. We have the Fed, of course. We have the ECB, and wrapping it all up with the NFP. I'm looking for a reason to short Euro. One of my levels up here is on the weekly moving average up here around 112. You could see we already have a couple of drives here, so we'll see what sets up here. That would happen if I could get one more break here in the dollar, which is what I'm looking for. One more break to take out these lows. I have levels coming in shade under over 100, and this is really the line I'm looking for at 99.5. So looking for one more washout in the dollar. Last week, the pound led the dollar weakness. Maybe this week, Euro does it. And I believe that this will set up a capitulation, panic sell under the big round number of 100. And I'll be looking for reversals there. So the currency that has been really the most predictable, because it's really trending, has been yen. And last week, if you check Monday's video, I said be long against 133. And 33 was a great entry at 33.10 later in the week, and here we are 300 pips higher. When you look at the, I believe it's a daily, you have a 200-day moving average trying to cap this advance in the yen. I believe eventually we're going to break out. I've been talking about looking for 140 handle for well over a month now. I still think that's going to be the case. This is a surprise to me. Believe this May 1st, Reddit planned to buy as much silver as possible. What a day. It's up 80 cents on the day. New highs look, like a layup for me from here. But what I'm also considering here is gold is not making a new high. And I'm going to be very curious to see where gold is. If it is not making a new high, while the dollar takes out 100 even, and say it's in the 2020 zone or so, I'll be looking to fade it, and that's probably going to be around the Fed on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens here. I still think that at the minimum, we're going to test this major breakout line in the gold, which comes in at that 1920 level now, right here. And that a break under 1920 is going to give you 1860 to 1800. So this is going to be a big level. I think we at least get this pullback to the breakout of this major channel. And that's my view on gold. Of course, the XAU is taking it on the chin with silver's huge move to the upside, and the gold-silver ratio just gave up any chance of it bottoming from last week. Not sure what to do with it. Don't feel like I want to be aggressive and buy that. We have a lot of important earnings coming in this week, especially Apple. And just wanted to talk about Apple for a minute. I know everyone's calling it a breakout, and it's not that far from new all-time highs. I would be careful with Apple. I think it's all going to come down to earnings. And just like last week, if you had good earnings like Microsoft, you knocked the cover off the ball. But if you didn't, like Amazon, you were lower, even with a strong market. Everyone is long Apple in some way through their pension funds, through indexing, through their money managers, through mutual funds. In fact, in times when the SVB situation was happening, people rotated into Apple because Apple is viewed as a safe haven. And in my career, I've never seen any stock as stable or as blue chip as it was would be considered a safe haven because it's still a stock. So I think it's the most crowded trade on the board. And I'm going to be interested to see what the action is actually in September options for this. So we'll see what happens in Apple later in the day. S&Ps, I thought that we'd have this would be a breakdown. It negated it. We're right back up here, eyeballing 42. There's one more bearish count up around 4,300, but it's all going to come down to what the Fed says in the presser. I think that's going to be a factor in the dollar too. I do believe they're going to hike. And the press is going to be about whether or not they're going to pause. If they do announce a pause, that should be a good excuse for the market to try and rally again. I'm still not convinced that we're in a new bull market. A lot of people are. We have a lot of melt-up people, 6,000 S&Ps, 5,400 S&Ps. I'm going to give the bear the benefit of the doubt unless it starts really closing well above 4,300. So we'll see what happens there. Want to cover the yield situation here. So yields are up a bit with the yen at 347. There is a count where we could trade down to 3% and then by the end of the year be at new highs. Bonds too, we had this delay in the move in bonds, still moving sideways for well over a month, like a lot of markets. Breakout over 109.50. I think it could be looking at 116, 117 on a breakout in bonds. But the key thing to be watching for this week is potential sells in euro, potential sells in pound, although I think it's going to be at least another 150 pips higher. Same with euro, because we need the Dixie to take out that big round number of 100. That's going to be the key number for me, looking for a panic in the dollar under the big round number of 100, and then looking for reversal signatures to fade that and get long. So I have a couple of great interviews this week. Hope you could join us. Mike's going to be here in about an hour and a half, and invite you to join us here in the room at TradeGATEHub.com. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Still think we'll be looking at 140 handles, maybe 143, 44 in the yen, and looking to top pick both euro and cable, about 150 higher in both of them. So good hunting this week. Be careful. A lot of major red events. Don't try and predict them, react to them. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be with Mike tomorrow. Good hunting, everybody.